Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. We're doing a sewer scope today in Salt Lake. We're at 653 Hollywood Ave. We have the camera pushed out 108 feet. We're not yet to the city connection. I'm hitting an offset in the line that I can't get my camera past. Basically, this pipe is shifted, and it's shifted so much that, you know, we're kind of in the center of the pipe closer to the house, and that clay pipe further down that you're seeing on the screen has moved. And so as my camera comes down, it hits, you know, the edge of that pipe. Just like my camera is having a hard time getting past it, this waste can also get stuck on that joint. And if enough waste gets stuck, that can lead to a backup. I've seen a lot of stone around this area, or aggregate. From what I can tell, this is cast iron. Cast iron gets really rough and rusty. Eventually it will need to be replaced. This one's looking real rough. I would recommend having it coated, where they come and they clean it with a chain, and that would make it nice and smooth again. Bear with me, I'm going to adjust my camera so that I can pull this back a little easier. So cast iron, and that's majority of what I was able to see, is it looks like cast. It does look like it was transitioning to clay, but this is cast, likely original, with this age of a house, and also with the condition of how it looks. I don't think this has been replaced yet. At a minimum, I would recommend, well, first I'd get a price to have the offset fixed. You know, put that in your back pocket and do what you will with it. I think it would be worth having it repaired. Once you have that looked at, I mean, a specialist might be able to get their camera past there. Maybe if they went through a toilet or used a different camera head, they'd be able to get past that joint. But it's important to find out what else is going on further down. You know, we can see that offset and see that it needs a repair there, but you might have other issues further down as well. With cast iron, you might be able to clean it and make it smoother, and that would help prevent blockages. That would be a good idea. I'm not seeing standing water through this area, and so you might be able to do a liner here. A liner is like having a new pipe in this old pipe. That can be a little cheaper than digging up the entire line and replacing it with plastic. As we get closer under the house, we'll go underwater for a little bit, and that's a spot where you don't have proper grade. And so to fix that, you'd have to dig it up. This crawl space has very little space, and so I think that would be a hard spot to get to. But when you have standing water, the only way to fix it permanently is to dig it up and re-slope it. I'm accessing this line through the roof stack, kind of on the middle of the house on the west side. Still cast iron. A little bit of buildup through there. So, like I mentioned, standing water means you don't have very good grade. You can see all the grease that's built up on the side of the pipe. And with a belly, you'll get grease that kind of settles in that spot and sticks, and that makes it real sticky, where waste could then get stuck. You can start to get a soft blockage where toilet paper gets stuck in this belly, which can eventually lead to a backup. There you can see toilet paper kind of swirling around. And now we're at the top of the bottom of the roof stack. And so right before it drops in and turns, you can see that it's certainly holding water. So just to recap, you do have one fairly significant offset I would get a price to have that repaired. Cast iron all the way out. It was about to transition to clay, and we weren't able to get past that joint, so I couldn't evaluate the clay. But at a minimum, I would recommend having the cast iron put coated, where they clean off all that rust. I would get a price to have that offset repaired. You want to look at the rest of the line where I couldn't get past that offset. And then last, you have standing water under the house. It'd be best to replace that line and put in a new one that has proper grade. With all that said, once you maintain the line and make some repairs, I would recommend getting the insurance on the line if you are leaving any of this original pipe, and that would help offset the cost if and when there's a bigger issue. Just a note about that, if you choose to not do any of it and you rely on the insurance, know that there's a separate insurance that you have to get for what's under the house. I think that covers only $3,500, and so they cover $10,000 through the yard, and this is with home serve. That's the most common one around Salt Lake. I don't think $10,000 would cover probably the entire thing going through the yard if it got to the point to where they chose to replace it, but it can certainly help. I'm going to end this recording now.